Today I'm speaking with Ruksher Malik. She owns the Pastels Salon Group. It has 3 businesses. It's based in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And I've invited her to have a conversation with me about reopening the business. Ruksher and her team have reopened their business post-COVID-19 break. And I wanted her to talk to the UK salon owners about her experience of reopening her business. She has kindly agreed to do this, and I thank her gratefully for it. And in the hope that we all get a chance to listen to someone who's actually gone through the pains of reopening a business. So there's nothing left to be said. Hello to Ruksher.
Hi, Nergish. Such an honor to be here.
Thank you. Ruksher, the reason why I asked you over today for a conversation really was because Dubai, where you're based in the UAE, and I believe there are 3 businesses. There's a standalone business. One of your businesses is in a mall, and one of your businesses is located in a hotel. So you're going to be able to give the British audience really quite a perspective. And one of the reasons for asking you is that you guys have already reopened, and for a month, I believe, in
Yes.
1 or 2 of the cases. Perfect.
Yes.
So what I wanted to show salon owners, business owners, spa owners, and barbershop owners here in the UK who are wondering what reopening would look like, I want them to hear from you, who has actually seen what reopening looks like already and has experienced it. And we want to learn from your sort of experience, really, which is why I'm talking to you today. So Ruksher, if you could start about when you were ready to go to reopen, what preparations did you have to make?
Of course, scheduling. I mean,
Yes.
we had to think about the clients that were messaging us constantly. We were very active on Instagram and things. So we had to prepare for our scheduling. So what we did is we had a welcome back list. Right. As we didn't have any dates available to give the customers, we basically started a welcome back list on our website and on Instagram, where it basically allowed the client to put in their details, the branch they wanted to go to, the stylist they wanted to go to. We even prepared with Zoom consultations if somebody wanted to have a Zoom consultation before their visit, because as you know, lots of people have been quite nervous also to go into public places. So we said to cut down your time in the salon.
Yes.
You can have a Zoom consultation.
Perfect. So that's a great idea.
Yes.
Could I ask, did you get an overwhelming rush of people coming to your business? Or
Yes,
yes, it was. Fantastic.
Yes, it was overwhelming, actually, initially doing the scheduling. And then we, of course, had the preparation of making sure we had only 30% staff. And so we got the information on the Friday night.
Right.
I got a call from the GM of a Mercato Mall late at night saying you can open tomorrow.
Right.
Sorry, it was Thursday night. Forgive me, I'm wrong with that. So it's Thursday night we got that call. I said, well, we can't open tomorrow because we haven't booked anything else. And I had already sensed that there was an opening coming. So I had sanitized the salons, disinfected them professionally.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Done full cleansing.
Yeah, got it.
So fully cleansed and sanitized all the salons before opening. So that was ready. Okay. We had to just now schedule clients and book the staff in.
Got it.
You know, what days they were coming. So we did team A, team B. And certain teams came in on, there was hair and nail team and assistants that came in one day, then the next team came in another day. So we alternated.
I have a question there for you. That was dictated by the government, I guess. They said only 30% of your team could return at a time.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes. That makes sense. So that'll differ from country to country and at what time we open. That's perfect. Absolutely. So once you've scheduled, what sort of things did you have to purchase that you would not ordinarily have purchased?
So masks we already had, Nergish, and sanitizer before the lockdown, because we had to start doing that already.
Okay.
But we had now needed, of course, we didn't know for how long.
Right.
Initially, before the lockdown, there was a rush for everyone to buy everything in bulk. And that's something I didn't want to do because you didn't know how long this thing was so uncertain with everything.
Correct.
So I'd stocked up enough, but not too much.
Okay.
But then the government sort of reassured us that there will not be any shortages at all. So please do not bulk buy like crazy, because which is what people were doing with supermarkets and everything.
Correct.
So So we decided that no, we were going to buy what we need. So we needed masks, we needed gloves, we needed disposable towels.
Right.
We needed, which was not mandatory initially, but we wanted to have them in case a client requested it. Sort of a gown, plastic gowns for the customer, disposable ones if requested, and for the stylists as well, if requested. So we needed to have all this in, and of course the thermal thermometer to take the temperature of the client when they came in, lots of signage on our doors, stickers, you know, stipulating exactly what we needed done when what was expected of the client and what was expected of us by the municipality.
This is a good time to ask you then, not only is the sticker on your door when they enter, but you were mentioning to me earlier that there was something you actually sent out as a WhatsApp to the customer to prepare them of what to expect when they arrived as well.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So we had one, I'm going to refer to my computer here. So we had one sheet that we did is what we are doing as a team. So the customers knew what to expect as a team, what we were doing. We didn't want to only stipulate to the clients, this is what you've got to do. So they would also like to know how we are taking care of the safety and hygiene in the salon.
Fine.
So this was important to communicate this with clients.
I believe you also sent out almost a form. Is that something requested by the government or by you?
No. So I'm part of a salon owners community over here where we all share ideas, and actually 2-3 of us are quite friendly, and we share a lot of ideas together.
Sure.
So Tara Rose from Tara Rose Salon said that she had prepared a document and she shared that with us. We tweaked it around and basically did it for our purpose.
And that goes out to your customers before they come in?
To our customer. Yes.
Got it.
So we send out 3 things to the client.
Go ahead.
One is what we are doing as a team, what we expect from the clients, and then this Google Doc that goes out where they have a multiple choice question asked whether they have been exposed to anybody that has been COVID positive in the last 14 days. Have they had any flu-like symptoms or been unwell at all in the last 14 days? Do they accept that they are under the age of 60? And do they accept that they're not bringing children under the age of 12?
Are you telling me that if I'm 2 years older, I wouldn't be able to come to your salon?
No.
I'm going to run away. Sorry, I'm gonna, it's okay. I won't cry on screen now. I'll do it later. So basically, you've set age limits, or was that from the government directive?
Basically, they're not allowing older people out because the risk lies for the older people. So they just want to be careful so that people don't catch the virus, obviously, because then it's more risk.
Do you feel this has been controlled quite well by your government?
Excellent. It's been amazing. The lockdown timings have been very, very specific. Like if they said, like initially because it was Ramadan, we were allowed 12 to 10. So by 10, everybody had to be at home, except for people like salons, supermarkets, staff that were going home. We had to provide them with a letter to say basically that this is a staff member from the salon and they are now going home, straight home. Transportation is taking them straight home. So we had to, there are very strict rules and guidelines, which I think was amazing because the lockdown helped, I think, Dubai recover from this faster than expected.
Of course, because if it's well managed by the government, that's fantastic. Yes. What a lot of support.
Very clear guidance. Yes, fantastic. Very, very clear guidance.
So moving on then, basically, so that you had the clear guidance, you could go back earlier to work. I get that. Now you're at the stage where you've stocked up on the things, on the PPE that you needed to protect your staff, to give out to customers. That must have cost you something that ordinarily would not have cost your business. So yes. How did you share out that cost? Have you just taken the hit for yourself this first time around, or have you included it in the the cost to the customer? Have you passed it along to the customer? How have you managed it?
So Nergish, we've not passed it on to the customer. Okay. Times are tough for everybody.
Correct.
You know, lots of people here have been, I mean, world over, it's not only in Dubai, it's world over, people have lost their jobs, things like that. So we didn't want to add on any further expenses on the customer's bills at the moment, keeping that in mind and being sensitive to that. Later on, we'll see how that, as monthly, as my accounts, we have, it's, you know, it's a month-on-month situation, a day-on-day situation that we have to keep monitoring.
Of course.
And once we see what the impact of that is, Maybe later we can discuss it, but it's not something I'm looking at it right away. At the moment, I just want to be there to serve our customers, to make sure they're happy and they feel welcomed back in, not fearful, and things like that.
Music to my ears, and bravo for doing it is all I can say to you. That's perfect. So let's go to the point where you've now opened, you've done your prep. Is that all the prep that you've done, basically? Is there anything you've left out there?
No, so we had to have a very clear, sort of Dubai municipality gave us a list of chemicals that we could use, sanitizers, disinfectants that had to be used on all surfaces, handles, chairs, backwashes, you name it. Basically, any square inch of your salon has to be disinfected and sanitized. So we had a municipality sort of approved kind of product that we could use. There were a list of products you could choose. So we have that in salon. Plus now, as I sent you earlier, there is, as of last night, after Eid, they have introduced a further relaxation on the rules. So we have...
So things, sorry to interrupt again. So things are changing every day. I mean, you literally have to be on top of it the whole time.
Absolutely.
How wonderful.
So during Ramadan, it was 12 to 10, we were allowed to be open.
Right.
Okay. Approaching Eid, they changed that. They opened certain areas like certain parks and things like that. And then they said, now you can go to timings from 9 to 7. No overcrowding in places, keeping in mind your social distancing, wearing masks, sanitizing and washing your hands at all times, wearing gloves.
When you're outside, is everyone wearing masks?
100%. You're not allowed out without a mask.
Okay.
You're not allowed out.
Sensible.
If you get caught, there are firm fines in place, which I think need to be done because people don't understand the seriousness of this whole situation.
Agreed.
And we didn't really till you actually see things happening around, say, oh my God, better start taking. And actually, before this rule came out and the 50% relaxation was there, we've started to introduce even a face shield into the salon. So we've yesterday decided to do that. And today the rule comes that for all closed services, you need to have that.
Okay. So basically we'll come to the little hiccup that you've also faced, because you have faced a hiccup, haven't you, in one of your businesses?
Yes.
So let's come to that in a moment. You describe what a customer, when she arrives at the door, of course, she'd have to have an appointment, wouldn't she?
Yes, she can't walk in, no waiting area.
Right.
Straight in. But before she comes in, she's already knows she has to wait outside the door.
Right.
We check her temperature.
Right.
If it's the required temperature, she comes in. If it's not, I checked with the doctor because I've been speaking to my doctor regularly to get, tips and ideas of what to do, and to make sure I'm doing the right thing, really. And if it's slightly raised, we ask her to wait because Dubai is hot at the moment. So if it's slightly raised, we ask her to wait 5 or 10 minutes. We haven't had that situation, to be honest, at all, but we've got that as a possibility. And we take the temperature again. If it's come down, she comes in. If it doesn't, we have to ask her to go home.
Fine.
Same with staff, Nergish. No staff is allowed to enter the salon. No colds, no headaches, no diarrhea, nothing. If you don't feel 100% normal, please don't come to work. So even staff, not allowed to share their food. They have to have so many people in the staff room, no more than that. If they're on the bus has social distancing. Our salons, the chairs have social distancing. So we're not allowed the in-between chair, 2 meters has to be there. At reception, we have our 2 stickers of 2 meters apart. So the client comes in, temperature taken, checked into the system, client seated. She already comes in with a mask, so we don't have to worry about that. We've asked them if they're having color services to carry a second in case it gets dirty. If at all they're taking off their masks, we are actually going up to the client and saying, please, you're not allowed to remove the mask.
Got it.
At the moment, Ramadan, we were not allowed to serve coffee, tea.
Right.
But now, since Eid is done, we has to be in disposable cups. And,
are you going to, or are you just going to eliminate that step and just not serve it?
We are going to serve it if a customer asks. So we have the disposable cups available. No magazines allowed at all. So then she has her service. Before she sits down, everything is sprayed down in front of her. She has her service. Stylist has to sort of sanitize the hand, or nail therapist. Of course, when she comes in, she also is given the sanitizer. Then she has her service, backwash is the same process, sanitize before, sanitize after, all equipment is sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. We become a hospital.
Well, hang on a second. I mean, I've got to say this because, you know, my sick little mind is going, we both happen to be Zoroastrians.
Yes.
Anyway, we sanitize everything anyway, because we're lunatics. Now, for anyone that's listening, Zoroastrian, we're basically a rare commodity. Around the world, there are only some between 100,000 and 125,000 Zoroastrians. That's our faith, basically. And the fact that you're seeing 2 Zoroastrian women on a screen, this is absolutely a rare sighting. We're a species, we've been told many times, that we're a dying species. And so you're actually seeing 2 people at the same time. This is like spotting 2 dodo birds at the same time. Anyway, so sanitizing for us is nothing new, particularly because culturally it's always been the case. But I do have to say, I mean, staff must be quite, I mean, exhausted. Are you allowing time between appointments to do all the sanitizing?
So we basically, any case, all our staff has at least 3 kits of everything.
Right.
So that goes into rotation. The assistants are in charge of doing all the...
So sorry, I have to ask this again. Are you telling me they have to have 3 sets of their brushes, 3 sets of scissors?
No, so we have a lot of brushes in the salon.
Got it.
So any case, after each customer, the brush goes into the staff room and gets sanitized, clean in any case.
Got it.
So the stylists here, we don't, in our salon at least, we don't have their individual brushes unless they want to use something specific.
Got it.
So that goes in, that gets sanitized, comes out. So it's on a rotation basis, basically. So initially, of course, the staff were, first you feel, oh my God, you feel suffocated with all this business. But then when you realize that it just has to be done, there's no way around it. You have to be safe. You have to keep your clients safe. Otherwise, it's so contagious. You pass it on and then there's an issue.
Sure. And has there been an issue?
Yes, actually there has. And we had to take a very responsible decision.
Okay.
The reason for that was basically we are part of the hotel, but we rent from them. Okay. Then when I couldn't, I have male stylists. Now male stylists in Dubai are not allowed to work out of a standalone salon. They have to be in a hotel.
Got it.
My females, I could get into the other salons to work.
Sure.
But my boys, 3 boys, where do I put them? They have to work.
Got it.
So I tried all sorts of different things to get permissions in the other salon, but not possible.
Sure.
I then approached the GM of the hotel and said, look, I've got to start operations. Sure. I don't know how long this is going to carry on. And he allowed us. So we went in there, started on the 10th of May. On, I think, was it the 21st? Yes. One of my team members called me to say she had been in contact with a COVID positive patient.
In your salon?
No, outside.
Outside.
Yes. Of course, there is no clear sort of study yet as to how this would spread. So we took a sort of a very informed, cautious decision. Yes, that's it. We can't have the salon open. We have to shut and we have to test all the staff.
Got it.
So we have done that. Unfortunately, that girl has come out positive, but luckily the rest of the team, including myself, has been negative.
Got it. So you've had one incident where you've actually had to open and close that business. So you've already had that. Wow. So what you're really saying to us is that things will happen. Complications will occur.
There is no way that it cannot.
Got it.
Because how do you monitor every single staff member unless you lock them down in one building? It's not possible. You could go to the supermarket and get it. You don't know whether it was picked up, God knows where, who knows.
So are all the staff tested with temperature gun in the morning when they come in?
100%, 100%.
I've just read in your new chapter that the government has issued is that they have to be checked several times a day.
Yes.
Got it. Wow. So let's go from there. Now to the next bit. Have you changed any of your routines? So the customers are fewer chairs. Have your rental, have you explained to your landlord that you're not earning as much money simply because the salon can only be open 30% of the staff can turn up. So is there some way of getting some sort of rent reprieve for yourself?
Yes, actually, we've been really lucky, Nergish. Our Mercato salon, basically, the moment the lockdown came, the mall sent us a circular to say that we would be getting 3 months rent free, which was,
my God, how lucky. Good grief.
The Ritz Hotel also said that while we are closed, you're no rent. For my villa salon, I'm still waiting.
Of course.
The landlord hasn't yet gotten back to us, but I'm sure he will. I mean, everybody knows the situation.
Everyone's been very flexible because everyone's trying to make sure that businesses don't go under, because it's to no one's best interest for that to happen.
Yeah, it's like the government here has put a huge injection of cash into the banks to basically help small, medium-sized businesses not to fold. So like in the UK, you have your furlough system, etc. I understand that. Here, it's a little bit different. So anyone that has loans, mortgages, etc. can get a freeze on that. So like, for example, my home mortgage is on a freeze. Luckily, we've got that approval.
Sure. Fantastic. Yeah. So moving along from there, the customers now come in, she loves her hair, all of that. Has payment systems changed?
We've always, so on our little doc we sort of sent out, we say, please try to come in with we are trying contactless payment. So mostly everybody now has Google Pay or Apple Pay on their phones, or tap cards.
Got it.
And if they don't, then we do it before, in front of them, sanitize the machine, and after again. And they're wearing gloves anyway that are being washed.
But you're not taking cash?
Cash is taken but we really haven't had that much cash, to be honest. Everybody is careful. And I've told the girls, when they get the cash, it's got to be sprayed with alcohol.
Got it. Wow. So things have changed. Now, what about receptionists? You know, the other thing that occurred to me a while ago when I was setting up the standards for a few of the businesses that have contacted me, how are you managing people answering the phones differently? So when someone's answered the phone at the reception, is that phone swapped down each time?
Of course, but she's wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, she's wearing a mask and it's swapped down.
Nobody's without a mask and wiping down the phone and wiping down everything around.
If I was to ask you what was the hardest part of going back, was it really hard reopening?
I think by the time that month had passed, everyone was desperate for us to open, like the team, everybody. So just open, you know. So we said we had sort of Zoom meetings, and God, Zoom has been a game changer for us with all this, with being in touch with staff, being in touch with clients. It's been just amazing, training, etc. So for us, initially, of course, the mask, we had a little bit of experience before, but now it was going to be even more stringent.
Right.
I find the most difficult thing when I do clients, I do a few clients now, not too many.
Yeah.
Is you can't see whether you're smiling, not, you know, it's like our business is such a touchy-feely kind of business, and it's so personal with the client that to keep that distance is, the lack of contact is what's, and sort of connection is what's difficult.
Okay. Hopefully that'll change, eh?
Yes, I'm sure it will. It has to.
Correct. Yeah, let's talk about hair care and skincare, if that's what you're retailing in any of your businesses. How are you managing that? How is that going?
So basically, we've got signage up to say, please do not touch any retail products.
Right.
So if the client, if the stylist is recommending a product,
yes,
she sort of just points out to it. If the client is definitely taking it, we take it off the shelf, reception sprays it down, scans it, put it in the bag, and it belongs to the client.
Bravo. Fantastic. So that's still going on. Have you felt it? Have you felt the whole system has impeded selling, or are you still, because I know that you've, not at all. You're still doing your consultations.
Yes. So basically, yes, we are. So,
and she only smiles. Why are you smiling? It's because I met Ruksher in Dubai. She was attending courses with me. And then, of course, I've trained her team. But how wonderful that you're still doing it. That was not a little test for you, Ruksher. How wonderful. So they're all managing to do their consultations. That's fabulous. We've tested. You've isolated.
Also, like Nergish, we've done a lot of online sales as well during lockdown through BGX.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of that. Plus, we are now setting up our online e-shop.
Yes.
So therefore, clients have that possibility as well. We found that clients were a little bit, we still have some clients that are nervous to come in, mind you, especially in our Mercato location. Because it's in a mall, we have had people saying, no, we'll wait a little bit.
Got it.
You know, so I can understand people are scared. So we're not, of course, insisting anybody comes in. Those that feel comfortable, we send them all our information and what we are doing. And now I think our national article will definitely help a lot because people will physically see what we are doing.
Now, here's the next question. Is there any way of knowing how many of your customers haven't yet attended? What percentage of your customers haven't come in because they're still a little nervous?
I would say possibly about maybe 15%.
15% haven't come in.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and also there are the above 60s, right? We have so many of those clients that we unfortunately can't have in the salon yet. But I think that will change. You know, the phase 1 has happened, phase 2 has started. There will be a phase 3. The flights are slowly opening, gyms are opening. You know, the little things, they're doing it in a very calculated, clever manner, I think.
But it was controlled. The spread was controlled to start with because of very rigorous lockdown to start.
So I believe we've actually hit our peak and we are doing this now. Because suddenly, there was last week, we said, oh my God, it's just going up like this. Because you're not even allowed to gather with friends anywhere. That's not allowed to have a party at home. So I can't have 5 friends over.
Got it.
Which I think has helped actually. You might feel a bit this way, but you know, it helps keep it in control. We have to keep it in control.
Absolutely. It has to be managed. Right. And so is there anything, I guess, UK business owners need to know from you? Is there a sort of a warning shot? Is there something you'd like to say to them that, you know, beware of this, I didn't consider this, or I didn't expect this? Is there any little surprises? What were the biggest surprises for you?
So for me, the biggest surprises were, like I said, with our Ritz-Carlton brand. So I would definitely say don't take it. Not that we took it easy, to be honest, but to be completely on top of what your team is doing. So I'm setting out every single day. So now we've added with every customer, with every staff member, I've sent out videos of me talking to the team on WhatsApp, on our WhatsApp chats, exactly what is allowed, what is not allowed. Now we're not even allowing them to share their chips because you never know, you know, what's happening there. So be very, very careful with that. Don't take it lightly is what I would say. I had written something down, Nergish.
Have a check.
Yes. It will be overwhelming at first, for sure.
Yes.
We were all walking on eggshells. Are we doing the right thing? Will we get fined? And, you know, the government here was very firm. There were some salons doing waxing services when they were not allowed. Wow. So to me, that's ridiculous.
So here's something I can ask you. What services have not been allowed in hairdressing?
Hairdressing, everything has been allowed.
Everything's been allowed.
Nails, everything has been allowed.
In nails, everything's been allowed.
Yes. In beauty, no eyebrows, no lashes, no facials, no waxing.
Nothing on the face, really.
No spa treatments, no massages, no Moroccan bath, because that's very popular here.
It might be easier to ask what is allowed in beauty.
At the moment, till tomorrow, nothing except nails and hair.
Got it.
Tomorrow onwards, we have got extended hours. The 50% rule has come in now. Okay. So 50% staff can be in, 50% client occupancy. And we are allowed our waxing, nails, etc. Except for spa, massages, Moroccan bath, and any other spa treatments, body wraps, etc. are not allowed.
Got it.
So we are lucky with that. So you will be walking around on eggshells for sure. The first week was, oh my God, it was like, oh my God, are we doing the right thing? You know, we have our salon owners chat, which is so amazing, organized by Professional Beauty. Yeah. And everyone posting on there, guys, are you allowed this? Are you doing this? So everyone is helping each other, which is so amazing. That's something I would recommend if the UK doesn't already have that.
I mean, one of the things we're hearing on LinkedIn is community.
Yes.
It is. one of the reasons why I've started this series called Conversations with Nergish is that I want to interview people from nails. I want to, you know, there's enough talk about we should all work together. I wanted to make sure we were working together.
Correct.
I wanted to make sure we're interviewing from all sectors of the industry, because
Yes.
it's one thing to say it. I want a hairdressing salon owner to know what's happening in nails in case they are employing a nail technician.
Exactly.
Hear from the best nail technician. You know, I've just started the series, but I have to say it's been amazing. And what you're doing for us here in the UK from Dubai, and giving us that little bit of a heads up about what it's been like for you as a salon owner is going to be invaluable. It's phenomenal what you're doing for us. And I can't thank you enough, Ruksher, for coming in and helping us out. Any final words to your audience, basically, that's looking at this from predominantly, I'm catering it for the UK market, but I suspect that I've got an audience from around the world.
Worldwide.
So
Yes.
any wise words on how to deal with reopening?
So basically, take a day at a time.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got everything documented for your team. Communicate with your team at all times of what's expected, because you can't expect them to know everything the way you want it run and done. So make sure that that is very, very clear to them. I have documented, we've got everything printed out. It's posted everywhere so staff can see. I constantly post on our WhatsApp chats. This is allowed, that's not allowed. So keep doing that. Keep in touch with them.
Yeah.
And the first week will be difficult, no doubt. It will become a routine. It does become a routine. And then you start laughing about a few things even as you go along.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ruksher Malik of Pastels. And you've really helped out our market here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nergish. It's been such an honor to be here. I can't tell you. I mean, for me, this is like, wow.
Thank you. Well, let's put it this way. I've only just started. The little that people know, I hate anything to do with social media. I am such a Luddite. It's unbelievable. But here I am. COVID has been my teacher. COVID has been my motivator. COVID is getting me to do the things that I have never wanted to do in life. And here I am.
Believe me, it's making us do the same. Even I'm not much on social media, but we have to change and evolve. If you don't, you can forget about it.
Agreed. So again, thank you, Ruksher. What a lovely time I've had. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and you'll get to see every conversation with every expert.